Thank you for joining us in another episode of Experience, Strength, and Hope. My name is Catherine, and our host Tony will be joining us shortly. Our goal is to bring stories that make you laugh, smile, and even cry, but most of all, give you hope. Please don't forget to support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on Spotify, Anchor FM, and Apple Podcasts. Again, I'm Catherine, and I hope you enjoy today's show.
Now, when I was in Miami, I always heard, I didn't go, but we wanted to. I always heard about Liberty City and different places. We wanted to see, because it's on First 48, Pork and Bean Projects and stuff. We just said, no, we can go.
Man, I went down there in 2020, and I was blessed, because again, I walk by faith. I was just watching Eli with Denzel Washington.
Okay,
he was talking about, I don't have to know where I go. I'm walking by faith, and I'm
so
going west.
You was Denzel.
I had nothing but a backpack and a pair of shades.
Okay, all right.
I got down there, and I cried because when my mother took me to Miami in 1987, she was married at the time, and she introduced me. Her husband was from Miami. And he lived 2 blocks away from Pork and Beans, with Trick Daddy, Trina, and all that. You know? So when I got down there, and I learned my boundaries and where I belong and what I was into and what I wasn't into, I began gospel, like I told you with Richard Cup. But when I discovered exactly the historical places that I was. Okay, fast forward to 2020. Man, if you go to Miami now, you go to Liberty City, it looks like Vietnam. It looks like, and they call it Little Vietnam in some areas. There's nothing to brag about. It like I said, it brought me to tears when I went to my stepfather's family home, and it was abandoned. No stores were open. There was the barber
boarded up.
Yeah, boarded up. The barber was asleep in his chair, no business. When it used to be a heavily flourishing barber shop.
Okay.
Radio outside, all and it just broke my heart.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to stay downtown Miami because there was obviously nowhere that I wanted to stay within where my people were at. Because it was so devastating.
When we used to live on 58th Street in Chicago, 58th Michigan. And 58th Street, back then, when I was little, it's kind of like you talking about everything. Black business. You had grocery stores. You had barbecue restaurants. I think the name of it was Helen's. You had the Miss Clyde's. You know, I can name some of these places. You know, you had Romper's Room, which is Chinese place, and they had bars and all down this street. And years ago, I went back home and we went to drive around 58th Street. It's just like you're saying. Mostly all the buildings are gone. When they burn down and get or something happen, they don't rebuild in those areas. You know, the train, you know, the elevator, you know, we get subways and the L train. The train station is gone. It don't even stop there anymore.
Oh, the train station.
The train station gone. And so I went back there and I was kind of like you. It's all gone.
Man,
you know, all the
tears,
things.
Man.
Yeah, it does. You know, that you remember that I remember as a kid. That, hey, this is where your mother can give you 50 cents or a quarter and say, go up to the store and get me this.
Yeah.
And the people knew you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I talked about in the podcast is that how this generation, that we kind of fast forward a little bit, this generation, when I grew up, I knew my neighbors. My neighbors knew me.
Right.
I know your sister had told me about your grandmother. And everything, you know, from Fort Riley to Junction City. She told me stories. So I didn't do wrong because of a lot of respect that I have for the people that my grandmother, my mother, my father. It's a lot of things I didn't get into because it's not because you just say, you know, they raised you right, but it's the love that you had for them. And I'm not going to do this and let them down. You know? I'm not going to do this. Not just because you're going to get a whooping or something.
Yes.
But it's what you did. So this generation, and if we talk about just a little bit, I don't know if you got anything else you want to talk about.
But I bought you a book.
Oh, okay, good.
It's I got to sign it for you.
All right.
I got to sign it for you. It's called The Lost Books of the Bible.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, and it's a lot of things in there that are not
in
the Bible, but I'm gonna sign it before I leave.
Okay.
So you got a pen there.
Right. Yeah.
But one thing out of that book you're going to discover on page 65, and see everybody. Nobody's in fear of going to hell. And that's kind of what this book, this is why they took 88 books out of the Bible, because how so-called slaves or indentured service retaliated against the powers that be. They don't want you to know. They don't want us to know that there was more than one Nat Turner, more than 1,000 Harriet Tubmans. There's a whole bunch of wars that were fought that they ain't gonna mention.
I just heard somebody say it was more than one Rosa Parks. I just heard somebody say that the other day. It was plenty of Rosa Parks up there. People at Martin, before them, it was plenty of people that were doing this stuff.
Yes. You know? And the sad part about it is, I hope I make it to heaven. Who knows what God has planned? I'm going to keep on working righteous though. But in this book on page 65, it talks about how all since Adam, everybody went to hell until Jesus came to set the captives free. Right. That's how deep this book is.
Okay.
And it's books that were not in the Bible, the Holy or the King James Version. Okay. It's the Lost Books of the Bible. I picked that up in Topeka yesterday because I knew I was coming here. Oh, all right. And I got my sister one. I got my mama one. Yeah, I got everybody.
Make sure everybody got one.
Because I asked my mother. I know she likes to stick verbatim to what she's learning, and I'm proud of my mama.
Right.
She's the next best thing to Mother Mary and my grandmother.
Okay.
So when you read that, it's just going to shock you how it talks about how they prepared, how there was a general in hell, how hell is set up like an army, and what they were preparing to do when Jesus came after he died for our sins on the cross, what they were preparing to do to Jesus when he got to hell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
It's all in there.
Yeah, you kind of remind me, when some of the things you're talking about, I remember when I was in Church of Deliverance in Junction City.
I remember Church of Deliverance 17. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you was over there. Okay.
Yeah, I was there for years. That's when I first gave my life to Christ back in 1983.
I went to school with Mark. That's
right, you know Mark.
That's my dude right there.
That's his mom. And so she would teach like that, man. She would get deep. You know, she would get books. You know, she would get the books that were not there, written in the Bible, but were written by the prophet and everything. Man, that's one thing you didn't leave out of there without knowledge.
Yes, sir.
You had to be taught right. You sit in Bible study, she'd say, "Now explain that to me."
Yeah.
You know, you dig it. You know, you studying every week because you want to know. You know, and I respect her for that. I love her too. I saw her a few weeks ago and everything, man. Yeah. But and so this is that's part of that generation, just like your grandmother.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of Jerry's mama. Jerry Boyd mama.
Oh,
Minnie Boyd.
Oh, man.
You know them. These people, I met them through Jerry. Me and Jerry worked in the waterbed store together.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me and Jerry worked in a waterbed store and different.
Jerry played that guitar.
Yeah, does he? Yeah.
Get down on that bass.
Yeah, I know Jerry way back, man. I know all of them. You know, from when for my first job when I was out of the military. My first job was at Waterbed Junction down there. Downtown,
I remember Waterbed Junction.
You know, downtown Junction City. But what I want to say is that we were taught these things. Now, granted, I did have a child at 17, wife 16. Yeah. We're still together. Yeah. You know, came here 17, and she was 17. I'm 18.
Yeah.
You know, I had a child together, and so all we had to teach us is about what was taught to us through our parents, through our grandmother. Yeah. That's what we had to stand on when we got here. Yeah. We were taught all that. I hung with not the other privates, the sergeants. I sat around them all day, sit with the sergeant, talk to the sergeant. You know, I worked for the first sergeant. I learned things from him.
Yes, sir.
You know, shows that older generation. Now, you know, we got a generation to a lot of them. Grandparents are still parents of children themselves.
Yes.
They still mean. And you know, I don't fault them for that.
Yes.
But a lot of people, like you say, our generation, we got to stand up and we got to teach them. You know what I'm saying? And we live by example.
Yeah.
But a lot of them's not learning. You know,
They
want their voice to be heard, though.
Yeah.
They do want. They know what injustice looks like and all that. They want their voice to be heard. But I just pray that our generation teach this young generation.
And we are, though.
All right.
When you called me up and you said, "Hey man, you hear what's going on at the school?"
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. The June 6th protest in 2020.
Okay.
I had no idea how people felt. I just knew that I had I would get out there. And that's the step it takes to get out there. No one wants to stand on the corner by themselves.
No.
And at one point, it was just me and Greg, just standing.
It's you and Greg.
Just standing there.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, God, we're going to be here all day.
Right.
And then people start dropping off ice water. Then you got Tweetley. She joined in. Then you got Cheryl Freeman.
Okay.
She called and she wanted to be on the podcast today.
Okay.
I said, I can't welcome you up in somebody else's studio.
I'll get with her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That lady there, boy.
Uh-huh.
That's all I can tell you. She's been an inspiration to me long before I did the protest. She was one of the people who I said, okay, this person's in the community. You got brother Antonio in the community.
Right.
My mama's in this community. I got to do something for God.
Okay.
I got to do something for God. It's nothing we do, in my opinion. You know my mom's preaching.
Yeah, I know.
So there's nothing we do on our own. We weren't sent here to do our own thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got families we got to take care of, but we still got to be about the business of God, which to me is the future, which is the children and the elderly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The children, they come first to me because they're going to have to take care of us later. So right now, we got to stand behind them. When you told me about it the other day, I was like, okay, well, let's get behind them. Let's make sure that the message we put out today, we let them know if it's 5 of them, that's enough.
And that's the thing about it. When my wife and I went up to K-State, we were younger. The oldest ones up there, it was mostly young K-State. Didn't know none of these people.
White.
And we just we said, hey, where are they doing this? And they just led us to go. And so some people coming out, it was almost over. So we just. And like you said, most of them white coming out. Yeah. Taking their pictures, talking to them.
Lives matter. That shocked me. I'm like, look at all these white. 90% of them was white.
Right.
And the reason
especially in Manhattan.
Yeah. And it was thousands of them in Manhattan. I saw, I don't know which protest it was, but it was a good 2,000 people.
Right.
There.
They had one at the little, like a band shelter thing in a city park where the downtown where the big pool is. They had
where the
one
fire department is and all that.
Yeah, down there.
I came late to that one.
Okay, they had one down there, and like I said, it was mostly white people, mostly Caucasians, you know. And I think sometimes, like I don't know. I think that we sometimes get embarrassed to participate in our own stuff.
We do.
You know, like who's gonna see me? I don't want to. You know, come on.
I got backlash by it. A lot of people was like, "Well, you didn't keep the protest black enough. What you want me to do? Get shot?" You know what I'm saying? Because obviously,
you ain't going that way. I know what you mean, bro.
I'm not going out here and
keep it black enough.
And you gonna be alive and I'm gonna be dead. That ain't cool. And you didn't show up.
And you ain't gonna march for me either when I'm gone.
Probably ain't even gonna come to the funeral. But some people said I didn't keep it black enough. And I said, what is black? When you got 90% that were women, and they all had kids, and most of them was white. Okay. Because we can't build a business in Junction City and just expect black people to hold it up. We gotta have it all. Yeah. We gotta have the Ricans and the Mexicans and the Caucasians and the black. We gotta. This is a diverse community, and that's what I grew up on. But I also grew up in a time where white people would go by my grandmother's house and call me a nigger and throw red bricks out of red trucks. I'm always scared of white folks in
right there on 12th Street.
Right there on 12th and Jackson. They ride down the street throwing red bricks. And we I guess they thought we were stupid because when we grew up, they would be driving the same truck, and we catch up with them.
And the thing about I remember, I told your sister about that. I remember young in the military, young in just driving down 12th Street, driving down.
That was the street.
Everybody was always sitting out on their porch outside. Yeah. That was the area there. 12th Street was beautiful. The park, people on Saturday, everybody parked their cars down there. And it wasn't no problems, no trouble, you know. I wish, the one thing I can, wish I can get to some of these young guys, man, it ain't about trying to prove yourself, trying to fight all the time. If you were getting beat up in Chicago, you would probably get jumped in the game. Or you'd have ran your mouth too much, something like that. Now they just want to fight to fight, you know, just, you know, and there's so much of that built up in them, you know, like, talking about, you know, you worked in the school. And I know you've seen in the paper lately, they're talking about how much violence were in the high school freshmen. Now it's the middle school. You know, kids just out of nowhere fighting. You know,
I mean, they know what the adults are doing. Okay, the adults is grown police out here shooting people. Okay, it's not kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They know. I remember. Let me say this. It's gonna coincide with everything you're talking about. Right. When I was working at the middle school right there on Wildcat Road, and the vice president was coming into office with Joe Biden. Okay. And when she came in and put her hand up to be sworn in, all the kids were chit-chatting. I was like, dog, this is a legendary moment. I didn't think the kids was paying attention. But when, what's the vice president's name? Kamala Harris. When Kamala put her hand up to be sworn in, that whole lunchroom lit up. All them kids stood up and were clapping. And I can feel the Holy Spirit on me right now telling me this. They all got up clapping. It was like, And right before that moment, you would not even think that they knew what was going on.
That's something.
Yeah. But when they got up, it was about 300 of them. And they just clapped, and the teachers couldn't do nothing to stop it. So I said, if these kids want to take over the school, and they being in 9th grade, they can do it if they wanted to. It's 300 of them.
My grandson, who's a police officer now, when he was a young boy, he was young, when we set up in the bedroom, right over there, next door to your mama.
For real?
I used to live there.
What?
Yeah, before your sister moved there.
Okay.
Well, somebody else lived there after that. But we were in that small room, staring at the TV, waiting. You know, when Barack Obama, when they finally announced him as president, I seen that young man. All of us cried, man. Yeah. And it's not, you know, people think, y'all is doing that because black men, I don't know, in office. We're doing that because we can say something like family. You know. Yeah. It's somebody achieves this, some family, one of us, you know, just like or this or that it is equal for everybody. You know, we start feeling that, you know, even though people thought that
I came outside my house and screamed.
Man, I was so happy, man.
But you know, the guy who spoke before him, this is how small the black community is. And the people think the world is so big, and the internet is supposed to make the world so big. Actually, it's making it small.
Oh, that's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because we can, I mean, if we hashtag somebody, the superstars can see, they can see me. Hashtag. And I proved it because I said something about Diddy, and he put a post up, I'm listening. So, you know, a hashtag means they gonna see it. Yeah. So, going back, we was talking about the election, right?
Right.
Oh man, I forgot exactly what
talking about Barack when he came in.
Oh, Barack Obama. Thanks for reminding me. There was a guy named Kendrick Meek, and he's a U.S. congressman now, but he began as a senator of Dade County. Okay. And he was a senator for Liberty City, Overtown, all the black communities, you know, Poke and Beans, and all the little areas in there. Poke and Beans is just a slang name for Liberty City.
For Liberty City, okay.
So he was the guy you seen, if you look back at the when Barack Obama won the Democratic nomination. He was the Democrats' choice. Right. He was not president yet. Kendrick Meek was the one who introduced Barack Obama as the Democratic nominee.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was also the one who introduced him when he became president. If you look up Kendrick Meek, he's a friend of mine.
Okay.
He used to be head of the Highway Patrol in Florida. He's a black guy. His mom, see, when you're in politics, and you probably know this already, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking I'm talking to somebody, but I'm talking.
Everybody hearing it. Everybody's gonna hear it. That's all right.
Now, Kendrick Meek's mom was Carrie Meek, and she was a senator in Florida who became a U.S. congressman. When you're in politics, you could supersede someone in your family. That's how the Kennedys been doing it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Joe Biden's son passed, so he could not supersede him. But that's how the Kennedys been swapping seats all their life. How George Bush and them did it too. So it's legal. So when his mother got to the age where she was a when she got to the position she was a U.S. congressman, she gave up her seat to her son. He came from a senator to a U.S. congressman. Kendrick Meek is a pretty important name to Miami, Florida.
Okay.
And his mother, God rest her soul, she just died probably 6 months ago.
Okay.
But if you look back at what she was talking about, Barack Obama becoming president, it's something people say there's 6 degrees of separation. Every 6th person knows someone you know. That's real talk. Yeah. I used to do all of Kendrick's political commercials and everything when he was coming up as senator.
So I mean, I know people don't. A lot of people don't understand what that meant to us. Not just meant like what you said about Kamala Harris. You know, just I remember seeing her. I mean, negative talk start talking about her as soon as when she was running with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You know, they talked about it because she had on them Chucks that time.
Yeah.
And she made it out of, I mean, now everybody want to wear Chucks and pearls. You know, she turned it around, you know. And a lot of people, you know, they don't know what it is to see that. What's the judge's name? Just, I can't think of her name.
Khadijah Brown.
Yeah. Man, she went through hell on the stand, man.
Did you see that?
Yeah. And then to have your husband sit right there, have to sit through, you know, because we be wanting to tell, hey man, you better leave him.
And that's white America, though.
Yeah.
That's the creamy part of politics that are causing police violence.
Okay.
That are creating people like Trump. And I'm not saying everything's bad about Trump, but they created Trump. We all know that. And that's what Barack Obama said. They created that.
Right.
And that's the part of America that doesn't want to back down to righteousness. They don't want to back down. They want to see the police violence is protecting them in their position, in my opinion. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, those are people, they don't want to see change. They want to keep America and you know.
They don't want to break it up, you know. But see, we, and you know, not getting too much into politics, but a lot of, we didn't see a lot of this stuff until 4 or more years ago. How people came out the woodwork, like, oh, I got a voice now, you know. If you, I mean, I like Junction City, I mean, I like the internet and all that stuff, but you can see or hear through people voice through sites like JC Post.
Yeah.
If somebody put up a post on a police station site or anywhere, people start commenting, you know, they come in and accept because they, like you said, they think we're ignorant, you know, like we don't know what you're trying. We're reading into it good, you know. We're reading into it real good.
And a lot of people don't know our right to vote was up in 2008. They didn't know that.
Okay.
I mean, if people research it, constitutionally, our right to vote was up. So Barack Obama, being George Bush's cousin, they came up. George Bush had a plan. They've been raising that guy to do his job.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is. They're all family. Did you know that Barack Obama is family to George Bush, and George Bush is a cousin to John Kerry? All those people are related. I mean, everybody can do their own research.
Yeah.
This is what I do. You know, so I like to look into politics, and I like to fight the power.
Okay.
And what we saw with Khadijah Brown becoming, you know.
Yeah, that's Brown.
Man.
That was something.
Shows you how green America still is.
Yeah.
You know, that's just. And they say, you know, we know it's racism when we just looked at that.
Right.
You know.
You know, but it's only a few bad apples, they say.
Enough.
You know? So,
yeah.
Man, it's good talking to you, man. One thing I do want to talk to you about, because you mentioned it, and this will probably do something completely separate, though. You mentioned Will Smith. Mm-hmm. I watched that live. I'm going to just tell you, people probably say I'm biased anyway. My wife loves Will Smith. I like Will too.
That's my boy, man.
But I love Chris Rock too, man.
I like Chris too.
Chris real, man. Now, when I first saw that, and my wife, I was sitting there, we were moving stuff. We just got the house painted up there. And I said, "Oh, that's staged."
Yeah.
Sometimes I still think, I said, "That's staged. That's got to be fake." That would never, even the way Will walked up, because you never know Will to be a type of guy like that, At least we didn't think,
All that crying he did in some of his movies made me think.
Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness.
What's going on with this dude?
Pursuit of Happiness did something to me, man. That's what we had me crying,
Yeah, it did.
And so when that happened, man, a lot of Hollywood look at it a completely different way, some of us look at it on black on black, when he brought violence to this and everything, and he was just standing up for his woman and everything, but he laughed at first, when your woman look at you a certain way,
what you laughing at?
you got to take action,
Oh, you with them?
So they came down pretty hard on him,
They did.
10 years, 10 years is a long time.
But that's even more, remember a couple years ago, I think it was the Oscars, but they boycotted the Oscars.
Right, I remember.
That's when black people like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, those with big money, should have went ahead and got their own award show.
Right.
Like Tyler Perry. He got his own.
He could hold half the city of Atlanta almost. He didn't bother up the military.
You don't really need to associate with those people in case you just want to get that award.
Right.
I understand that they own the theaters and they own these motion picture companies.
Right.
And all that. These mostly Jewish owned.
Jewish owned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you crack a Jewish joke, what's going to happen? They got to be able to. Will Smith, it was written. It happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I think it's gonna go down in history, though. It'll be a historic moment.
Boxing.
I know. I can respect the fact that Chris Rock that's what made me think it was staged at first, because he just stood there. Hey, Will Smith just sniped it. And just stood there, but you could see it in his eyes afterwards that he was in shock, like, wow.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings.
Yeah, it did too, because I hate to see us have to, to go out like that. It'd probably be a different story if it was Tom Hanks smacking Tom Selleck or something.
It's hard to believe that he didn't know she had alopecia or whatever.
Alopecia.
Mm-hmm. He's Chris Rock. It seems like he would have knew that.
Yeah, wow. That's what I thought too. He said he didn't. I know jokes are jokes, but they weren't expecting it then. Leave that to Dave Chappelle, one of the greatest. But he can get away with it. You can't get away with it.
Yeah, you can't. Man, it just broke. It hurt me because they had, now they got to take sides.
That's what it got me with, because a lot of people were taking sides and saying that this man was, like I said, standing up for his woman. He was wrong for saying the jokes in the first place. He done did a movie about good hair, and now he don't know about this and everything. And he was caught up in the moment, probably too. And so I'm gonna tell you something. Once you get in front of the mic, you're liable to say anything. So, when it starts rolling. You know how I'm saying? When it starts rolling, man, that's how great comedians are born. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor. One thing, and we'll go back to stuff though. But I found out just looking at different things about Richard Pryor, and that was one of my favorite comedians, that he never really wrote jokes, man. He didn't write a lot of these jokes. He knew the characters. The characters were people who he knew.
Okay.
Mudbone, Tootlin, and all these people he making. He knew, and he just let it roll, man. He would get on there and just let it roll sometimes.
Richard was great.
He was.
I think he just high most of the time.
That's what it was.
When you're high, you say stuff.
And he said it too, bro. He said he could have snorted a Peru.
Too much morphine, Doc.
Well, man, we're going to keep talking, man. We're going to keep together and get with other people, man. Get with other people. And see, that's why, I kind of, I posted on JC Way because I want other people to know. I want people to feel, I'm here now. I'm not going, when I get ready to retire, I'm going to Orlando with my daughter. I'm not going back to Chicago. I ain't crazy. I'm not ready for that yet. But while I'm here in Junction City, I respect my city.
Yeah.
And I want people to speak good of the city, so, and learn stuff about the city, so that's why I thank God for the platform for being able to put it on JC Way and other people to feel good about. Because I did a podcast on it's Junction City, not Junktown.
Yeah.
Junktown, man. I said, man, you can't be calling your own city.
Yeah.
Do something. Get out there with Phyllis Fitzgerald and pick up some trash or something.
You know that Junction City produces a whole lot of metal for the Chinese who make weapons. Because the Chinese they're the biggest artillery maker in the world. Mm-hmm. And Junction City is a main metal supplier to China. Mm-hmm. So when you look at junk,
junk.
Hey, one man's trash is another man's. And there are a whole lot of that around here, though.
All right,
but I'm just saying.
I hear you.
Yeah, but my idea was like, what would people think if we went cable with this?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
People
think that's a dinosaur, but that's the way you
I'm getting to. You see, I got that camera 4K. It picks up real good, but I just got to get it set up right.
Gotcha.
I want to get it out there, get it, just get video. Everybody want to see, everybody want to see people, they're like, I grew up in the era where I stayed up late night listening to the radio every night in Chicago.
Yeah.
Most of the boxing matches of Muhammad Ali, I heard on the radio. I wasn't there, everything was on the radio then. And so, but get it out, get more people out, get more people to be heard and stuff like that. That's why I motivated Craig. I said, man, get out there and do your thing. I called him soon as I found out.
He got him a microphone.
Yeah, he got it. He ready.
Something going on.
And it's about people not being ashamed, not being afraid to be out there, man.
Radio's been good to me. I've interviewed, so many people. I've had Farrakhan.
Is that right?
Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm going to just say those two. And I worked with Janet Reno back in the day, who was the Attorney General of the country at one point. Mm-hmm. So radio is something I love, but the whole podcast thing takes it to another level. Mm-hmm. But cable is still a way to give back to your local community and pull in those local advertisers and be able to see them. That's we can't let the newspaper, the cable TV die.
We sure can.
The internet came. Yeah. So it's a low budget type of thing, to get into, and a way to become the next Oprah, the next Maury. You know what I mean?
You're looking for it, bro.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. I love you, bro.
Love you more.
All right, man.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Experience, Strength, and Hope. Come back and continue to listen on any of our other platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and Apple Podcasts. We encourage you to not only listen, but also reach out and share your stories of experience, strength, and hope at bigdog0862@gmail.com or 785-307-4662. I'm Anthony Timms, and this has been another podcast of Experience, Strength, and Hope from Tony the Mayor Timms. Be blessed, be strong, and most of all, be real.
Appreciate you inviting me to the show.
All right, no problem.